new health system to manage medical drugs in the country. Chile looks at preparations towards APEC 2018. HomeState helps renovate Chinatown police station.
This is the National EMTV News with Mary Bartulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Sunday's news. A new system will be introduced to manage medical drugs in the country. Health Minister Sepuka Temu announced this in Port Moresby recently. Minister Temu says arrangements are in place with the Australian government so that medical drugs reach health facilities on time and are accessed by the people.
Several major announcements were done by three senior ministers of the state in Port Moresby this week. One was the introduction of a new management system for the distribution of medical drugs. Health Minister Sepuka Temu says mutual understanding with neighbour Australia will see this system established.
And so the Australian government is helping us with a new system, health medical supply system, which is part of this agreement to improve the management of medical supplies in the country.
The past 10 months has seen all major hospitals and health facilities experiencing a shortage in the supply of medical drugs. The Oni-led government was pushed to address this issue despite health being a priority government policy. The health minister says better dialogue with the wider international community will see a much improved and reliable health system for PNG.
I believe that for the first time we can provide medicines at the care center when they are needed. And some of you have witnessed me opening the laboratory for testing of drugs, making sure that they are not fake. So it's part of that improving the medical supplies management system in the country.
A major change in the health system is the establishment of provincial health authorities. Out of 22 provinces, less than half are yet to establish PHAs. Minister Temu says a deadline will be set so provincial government establish PHAs. He says PHAs will be the relevant authority where funding and improvements in the health system will be channeled through.
I am pressing to make sure that all provincial health authorities are established in the country. And they require, that means, as you know, it's hospitals and rural health merging under one board, provincial health board, under one chief executive officer.
The health sector was allocated 10% of the 2018 national budget. Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
Lay's Chinatown police station is now fully equipped and renovated thanks to the rice company HomeState Limited. The renovation and other office equipment cost more than 30,000 kina. Lay Metropolitan Commander, Chief Superintendent Anthony Wagambi, and owner of HomeState, Tony Wetawatana, conducted the formalities recently. Wagambi says police will need community support in order to boost their performance and morale.
The Lay Chinatown police station looks after a very big community. The station housed 7 officers and looks after the Lay urban area, i.e. LLG, and also takes care of Nawai and Yuan Gulf districts of Morobe.
In Lay, we have enhanced our policing with certain strategies. We have put in a sector patrol, the SRU uniformed unit, and they enhance the policing presence and the response to crimes. We have already installed the toll-free number, police emergency toll-free number. We have incorporated WhatsApp into it. We have a Facebook page which the public can bring forward their problems or things which need to be addressed by police, or wherever we have failed in certain areas, they can bring it forward and we can adjust to that and better enhance our performance. We are doing all that at our level, but we need the community support.
Yesterday afternoon, HomeState Corporation officially handed over the newly renovated police station. The company also presented 1 computer set and a notebook, steel working table with glass, a working desk with 5 chairs, and a printer and cartridges. Apart from that, a small holding cell was also erected at the back of the police station to hold suspects.
It's a very, very big contribution. To you, you say it's a small contribution, but to us and the people who live here, it's a very big contribution. Yes. This will improve the performance of our policemen and women here. We have a family sexual violence unit office, a small space here, which is inside at the back office here. That will be properly utilized. So all community law here, you look at a problem or all domestic violence or all passing law, bagarbi Mary Pigini, that office staff here now.
The Metropolitan Commander acknowledged the support of the company, saying police officers are psychologically disturbed to work in a rundown police station. Thus, the new look will boost police officers' performance to work to the best of their ability.
They also psychologically think no go down police, so they will not dress up well to come to work. They don't do their work professionally. You compare the building at the town police station, the new building which I work in. That is a new building, so everybody who works in there, because it is a new building, they dress up professionally and come to work. We have a couple of police stations here which are run down. This was one of them. They were run down, but because the policemen and women go to work in there, we tell them dress up well, go to work. But when they go there, the station is run down, broken walls, broken steps, everything. So how can they dress up well and go to work? Psychologically, they're already defeated. You look clear when it's time you talk clear, man. Yeah. So by doing this station, when I came in last before you started the renovation, there were broken letters there. We had to jump one extra letter to go on top. Inside the police station, there were holes there. It was a rundown police station. And now because of your efforts here, because of HomeState, the station looks like it's brand new again. Thank you very much.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Ley.
There is a need for more awareness on the various types of taxes and how these taxes contribute to development. This was a point raised during a recent stakeholder meeting in Port Moresby. Hosted by National Research Institute, the meeting was to gauge views on an NRI report into public perception about recent changes in the housing benefits tax in PNG. According to the IRC, in addition to regular meetings with employer groups, the IRC has also embarked on taxation awareness in schools. This has proven positive, with students provided a basic understanding on taxation and how taxes collected are used for government service delivery.
Spreads the burden over more people and brings them into that tax net. So basically every single person who pays tax is contributing to the growth of the country, which is fair enough. Not only is it fair enough, but I think people should be proud to be involved in the growth and the building of their country.
National EMTV News continues after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. 4 men in Manus were charged for the murder of Thomas Song Kombek, a homicide incident that allegedly occurred in November. The suspects were identified as Bat Kakap Songkop, 30 years of age, and Andrew Ohong, 52 years old, Andrew Pohak, 62, and 19-year-old Paul Peter. All men are from Drehead village. Manus Police Commander Chief Inspector David Yapu said the 4 were accused of hitting the deceased with a 4x4 timber, which resulted in his death. The killing resulted from an argument over disputed land in Drehead village. National Planning Minister Richard Maru says the government will have more funding allocated for major health facilities in the country. With assistance from Australia, the cancer facility at Moorabbin's Anga Hospital will be equipped with specialist machines to treat cancer patients.
As Planning Minister, I'd like to see Port Moresby upgraded to a level 7 hospital with all the specialist facilities for our country. We packed 30 million in the budget for next year. We want to build a CAD lab. I want to see a specialist heart hospital in Port Moresby, cancer. We've also packed money for Anga to start on a major cancer facility. And David, while you're here, we'll be looking to Australia to help us with the design of that and our partnership to finally provide a decent world-class cancer hospital to assist our women and our mothers. We've talked too much. Our government is not about talk, we are about action. We packed the funds in the budget and we are looking to partners to help us deliver far better outcomes than we've had for a very, very a long time.
Waigani Christian College in Port Moresby is offering a second chance for students to study through its open campus and bridge into tertiary institutions. Founder of Waigani Christian College, Benjamin Mull, told MTV News the institution will begin its enrollment next month. This follows an MOU signing between the institution and the University of Goroka early this year.
Education pilot project.
In an interview with founder Benjamin Mull, he says the college has grown from strength to strength where it is now. He says dropouts in the formal education system will be given the opportunity to complete their studies and advance in the universities.
But if they are not accepted, then we got Waigani, we got University of Goroka, which is established here, so students will come here and they will do the bridging courses, and that will enable them to go to university.
Waigani Christian College witnessed its 10th graduation recently. Between 2010 and 2015, enrollment doubled in 5 years. However, the school is also expanding with new learning facilities. The founder says the delivery of its curriculum is a key factor, with Christianity its first emphasis. With the MOU signed between the school and the University of Goroka this year, a distant open campus will be established in Port Moresby.
So we want to encourage all the teachers who really want to teach, but they have PhD degree and they don't have any teaching qualification. They can come to University of Goroka here at Waigani Christian College, and they will do their postgraduate, and this will enable them to be registered teachers to teach in the classroom.
Mr. Mull is a dropout from the formal education system. However, through distant upgrading, he has studied in 2 of the country's top universities. Despite being the founder, he will be studying at the open campus in 2018.
So next week, Monday, I'm going to become a student, do a 6 weeks or 8 weeks course, do a postgraduate, and I'll get a postgraduate certificate. And then after that, next year I will go to Goroka University and I'll do my master's in leadership in education.
Jack Lapava Jr., National MTV News.
The first batch of 40,000 tons of sweet potatoes from Sirunki in Enga province have reached shops in Port Moresby. With the farm being commissioned early this year, the harvest has been good for farmers in Wabag. Farmer spokesperson Sadis Chaka says an understanding between farmers and business giant Rimbuna Hedjau will see farmers earn nearly 100,000 kina in 3 months.
It's a partnership we're especially proud of, because for the first time, as we can see, it's all local produce replacing imports. And for us to get Engan produce in the shelves in Moresby is an encouraging news for us. Replaces import and saves us foreign currency, but it also means that the dollars are actually getting down to the farmers. So it's an encouraging prospect for agriculture in PNG. We thank IAA and the national government for the partnership, and we hope to see more Engan produce in the shelves in Moresby, lay elsewhere and throughout the country, and hopefully we can start exporting to the rest of the world.
A 50-year-old man is among 130 locals in West Epic's Wutung village to receive training on how to save and budget money. Francis Napri say the training conducted through the microfinance expansion program has taught him how to spend money more wisely. He is part of over 3,000 people who graduated from the financial training in Vanimo.
Francis is a landowner. His village, Wutung, shares international borders with Indonesia's Papua province. He and other landowners make money through royalty payments from login companies. After completing the training, Francis said he has identified unwise spending, which he had done in the past. He now wants to make wiser decisions in spending.
So, this school we play sim. We play like him throw. But this school too, him come late. Over the divide bundan, you go finish. And then time we play sim school. And now we play Tintin from our shit. This school suppose him come first time. And we play and he got good la Tintin long saving money. But I'm all divide bundan, you go finish now. Now we play funny hard.
The training on savings and budgeting is the national government's initiative to teach locals basic financial skills. It could be budgeting, mobile banking, or the accessing of information from financial institutions. The aim is to educate small to medium entrepreneurs, subsistence farmers, or those in the informal sector to manage the money they make through their little businesses. Bank of PNG conducts these trainings with support from other partners in the provinces.
A lot of our people work very hard, they hand money, but sometimes without that knowledge, they're not able to manage those little hard-earned cash properly, and they tend to lose that money quickly.
In West Sepik, Horizon Consulting facilitated the training, and it reached 3,005 people in the 4 LLGs of Vanimo Green River District. A total of 34 trainings were conducted at 27 different areas between January and July this year.
We train 3,005 people in terms of budget and savings. Those are the 2 modules that we provided training for. And I think people will speak for themselves how the training was delivered. And we did that for over a period of 6 months.
Catherine Arno was also a participant. She is excited about the training and wants to practice savings through the sale of her produce.
Through the training, mi golong na milig musim. Ikat ways na means loba mi can market or mi can after marketing this lo legal market ikat this lo deposit mo money lo look lo pikin ini or this lo or Lexis blong lo.
Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Chief Executive Officer of the APEC PNG 2018 Coordination Authority, Chris Hawkins, says preparations are on target and they are also concentrating on building capacity.
Mr. Hawkins today gave an update on Papua New Guinea's preparations for the 2018 summit in the presence of the Chile delegates.
On the 24th of February. So the hard logistics, the big stuff is on target, and we don't have any concerns there. Now we get on to more capacity building with our staff, that sort of thing. Mr. Yangan is in charge of that area. Paul Yang is our Director of Administration. And
the APEC House, described by the Chile delegates as iconic and unique, is a standing presence to expand PNG's history and participation. It's expected to be completed early next year.
This building is on track. We're 2 weeks ahead, I think, is the latest update. Hilton Hotel is ready in the middle of the year, and the International Convention Centre, which is the only other building we need to ensure is ready, will be ready in early next year, ready for the first meeting in February.
In the preparations. While we were walking through APEC House, we learned that the team which is undertaking the construction of this site has previous experience already in projects here in Papua New Guinea, which has added positive impetus to the development of APEC House.
The APEC PNG 2018 Coordination Authority is working around the clock for the successful delivery of this meeting. Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
The Chilean government is pleased with Papua New Guinea's preparations towards the 2018 APEC summit. Mario Ataza, who is also the Executive Director for APEC Chile 2019, says PNG has laid the foundation for them to host the 2019 APEC summit.
The delegates from Chile this morning paid a visit to the APEC House in Port Moresby following their arrival in the country yesterday. Led by the Executive Director of the APEC Chile 2019, their interest was in bilateral relations with Papua New Guinea. Ataza, speaking at the media conference, was satisfied with the country's interest, motivation and commitment in hosting the 2018 APEC meeting.
One of the issues that we want to discuss with the PNG team is how we can also contribute to their efforts and to be one team, given the fact that both PNG and Chile are APEC developing economies, given the fact that both do have similar challenges faced by our communities, given the fact that we are pretty far away in geographical terms. Chile is probably the economy that's most distant from Asia in terms of communication by air.
This will be Chile's second time to host the APEC meeting in 2019, the first in 2004. But with growing membership, Ataza says it's important to learn about long-term benefits from a country like PNG in terms of infrastructure and budgetary allocation.
2019 is obviously a budgetary issue. In 2004, for example, we hosted the leaders meeting with around a little bit less than 6,000 total delegates. We're expecting for 2019 no less than 10 to 12,000. So we're talking about a complete different APEC reality in terms of logistics, food, hotel, the venues, the transportation, the security, the amount of people who are working as volunteers, the support staff, the amount of infrastructure in the airport, in terms of the roads. The challenges are very, very important in comparison to the 2004 year.
Ataza says PNG has a solid foundation to contribute to issues of global interest like climate change, but these challenges have to be accounted in an intelligent, comprehensive and strategic manner.
Pertain to the APEC realm of reality, which comes from environment to energy to mining to human resources development to women to digital economy. We are seeing through this building also those issues come to the community of Port Moresby, and that is without any doubt something that gives us, Chile, a tremendous pride to work hand in hand with the community and the leadership of the Papua New Guinea government and team.
Chief Executive Officer for the 2018 PNG APEC Coordination Authority thanked Chile for the overwhelming support to PNG hosting the APEC meeting.
I'd like to welcome Mr. Ataza to Papua New Guinea, and I hope that our engagement together is beneficial both to Papua New Guinea and to Chile.
Thank you, Chris.
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. Stories making headlines overseas when we come back, including protests in the Middle East regarding President Trump's recognition of Jerusalem, and Australia, earthquake-proof buildings. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Turning overseas now, thousands have protested against US President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Arab officials say the decision risks plunging the Middle East into violence and chaos.
In Beirut, they're protesting to a different drummer. One of several demonstrations in Lebanon over President Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Thousands, Lebanese and Palestinians, turned out, mobilized by one of the few issues people in this region, riven by divisions, can agree upon. We should thank Trump, says 13-year-old Ghofran, because he united the Arabs and the Muslims to fight Israel. It hasn't come to that yet, though the option of less peaceful means is never far away. Arm us, these young men chant, and send us to the border. But this protest was peaceful. And here, as elsewhere, frustration that Arab leaders, who are presented in the official media as wise and strong and respected, are impotent and ignored when it comes to dealing with the United States. We never bet on the Arab regime, says activist Raji al-Hakim. 3/4 of those who claim to be Arab leaders carry foreign passports. They marched, they waved Palestinian flags, then they went home.
There are more demonstrations planned. Sunday outside the U.S. Embassy in Beirut. Monday, Hezbollah is planning a massive demonstration in the southern suburbs. The question is, are these demonstrations just a flash in the pan or the beginning of something much bigger?
In Japan, police have arrested 3 crew members from a North Korean boat. The media has confirmed the men admitted stealing electrical equipment. This latest drama surrounding North Korean ships that are arriving on Japan's shores.
A mysterious wooden boat washes up on a desolate Japanese beach. Inside, a grisly discovery: 8 skeletons. Japanese officials strongly suspect they were North Koreans.
They don't have great navigation capabilities and equipment and lost their way.
This boat, with lights rigged up reportedly to attract squid, was found recently with several desperate North Korean survivors on board. On some vessels, the Japanese Coast Guard has found survivors, alive but emaciated, lying among the dead. Now, a spike in the number of so-called ghost ships washing ashore in Japan, dozens in just the past month, has analysts concerned about increasingly dire conditions under Kim Jong-un.
That's a reflection of growing desperation in the North Korean economy.
UN sanctions over Kim's nuclear and missile programs are pinching North Korea's economy. They prohibit the government from selling seafood to other countries. So experts say the regime pressures fishermen to sell their catch on the black market.
They're having to rendezvous with foreign vessels in international waters and essentially sell their catches on the high seas so it can be relabeled as Japanese or Chinese or Singaporean fish.
That means going further and further out to sea on poorly equipped boats, manned by some people who analysts say are likely not even fishermen by trade.
They're probably inexperienced people who are going out, and the result is they're having difficulty when they get out there.
In recent days, Japanese authorities have discovered that one boat had come ashore on a Japanese island that was uninhabited, deserted except for a small shelter, which officials say desperate North Koreans ransacked.
Almost everything that was worth any money was gone, from doorknobs to door hinges, anything worth anything. And appliances have disappeared.
The North Korean fishermen are more than willing to risk starvation and death, experts say, because of the almost unattainable quotas they're given by Kim's regime.
How much pressure would these fishermen have been under to produce more and more and more?
Oh, the pressure is incredible in terms of that. They're sent out if they don't catch what they're supposed to, if they're behind, if they lose control of the boat, they will be punished.
Japanese officials say at least some of the surviving North Korean fishermen were slated to be returned back to North Korea at their own request. Why? Analysts say some of them probably feel that because they don't speak the language very well, they would struggle living in Japan. But others may fear retaliation against their families by the regime if they apply for asylum and defect.
A team of Australian engineers and architects are building earthquake-proof schools designed to withstand another disaster. The last earthquake in Nepal claimed the lives of 9,000 people, injured tens of thousands more, and also destroyed critical infrastructure such as homes, schools and roads.
It's a big day for these Nepalese children. For the past 2 years, their classroom has been a makeshift shelter after their school in the remote Lower Sulakhumbu region south of Everest was destroyed by earthquake. Now they're moving into new buildings designed to withstand another quake.
The children, they've been basically living in cow sheds for the last 2 years. Tin sheds, no windows, no doors, freezing in winter, probably baking in summer. And during the monsoon, it would be deafening noise. Now they have a safe environment.
Across the country, 9,000 people died, tens of thousands were injured, and entire communities were flattened when the tremors struck in 2015. In the Lower Sulakhumbu alone, 200 schools were destroyed or badly damaged.
We are, walking on the hill, so, there were big second earthquake came. All houses were destroyed.
The remote mountain region is one of Nepal's poorest districts. It's off the popular hiking trails, and most communities are only accessible on foot.
The schools are just built of mud and stone, just mud and stone, not concrete, not any earthquake resilient design.
The Australian Himalayan Foundation trains local teachers in the region and suddenly found itself providing disaster relief, transporting vital supplies and building shelters. Their efforts caught the eye of engineers and architects in Australia who teamed up to design and build earthquake-proof classrooms.
What makes it better is that a light frame is flexible, whereas a stone wall, given a good shake, will just go plop. And anyone underneath it is sort of done for.
The design was rigorously tested to make sure it could survive another quake. Gaining local government approval to build took a year, but finally the children are moving in.
I'm enormously proud to be part of the Australian Himalayan Foundation and Reed, and working with David and TTW and Hassel to get to a point where we've finally opened the first couple of classrooms.
Local workers have also been trained.
We use the National Society of Earthquake Technology and engineers from Kathmandu, and they could teach the local masons and builders a few simple techniques.
In the capital Kathmandu, the tourists have returned as the rebuild slowly progresses, but it's clear to see the city's historic heart will take much longer to repair.
Animals were also killed during the raging wildfires in California. Owners let the elite racehorses loose to try to save them. At least 29 died. Those rescued suffered severe burns.
Is there anything we can do to help?
Yes, come and grab a horse.
Okay.
It is all hands on deck in California to try to save hundreds of horses trapped and petrified by the California fires. Even reporters on the scene put down their microphones to lead some of the horses to safety.
All right, come on. All right.
These are some of the lucky ones, saved by Good Samaritans who were there to pick up the reins.
I was screaming to people driving by, come in here and help us.
But it was too late to help horses stranded in other fires. Dozens have died already, and some have been seen running wild through the Smoky Hills. A staging center has been set up at the Del Mar Fairgrounds to shelter the rescue horses. Many have no identification and are in need of food and medical treatment.
You can tell that this guy's been through a lot. His coat has a lot of damage to it, and you can tell that he hasn't, been taken care of very well.
Safe yet scarred from the fires.
It's Christmas and Santa Claus is receiving thousands of letters as he makes his list and checks it out. But one 6-year-old told Santa Claus he had a list of his own worth checking twice, a list of compliments.
Merry Christmas.
A lot of kids are scared of Santa.
Oh, sweetie, come on.
Look, you can pull it.
Maybe Santa should be scared of the kid who wrote this letter to him. We took the liberty of adding the voice.
Santa, I'm only doing this for the class. I know your naughty list is empty, and your good list is empty, and your life is empty. You don't know the trouble I've had in my life. Goodbye.
Give that kid the boot. Might be a bad Santa's reaction, but a good Santa understands.
There's a lot of rejection in this job.
NPR reporter and mother, Sarah McCammon, posted the letter saying, "My 6-year-old Santa skeptic was told to write a letter to Santa at school, so he did. Mom didn't want to do an interview, so all we have is the now gone viral letter, which ends,
Love, I'm not telling you my name.
If there's a Hall of Fame for Santa letters, this one goes in it. Your life is empty. You don't know the troubles I've had. Future country songwriter, tweeted one admirer. Noted his mom. P.S. The troubles in his life? His brother. Don't call child services. The letter is adorned with jolly wreaths on one side and skulls on the other. Sure, Santa's used to misspellings that turn him into Satan. This 4-year-old is now 13 and went on to win spelling bees. But it was the bleak nihilism, along with the misspellings,
I know your naughty list is empty.
that put this on the best Santa letters list. It was compared to the movie Elf.
You sit on a throne of lies.
As if Santa is nothing but an empty suit.
And your life is empty.
And on that note, we go for a break. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Samoa, Australia, New Zealand, Scotland, Russia.
Imagine trying to herd together the captains of 28 men and women's international football teams for a photo call. Instead, agents, image rights and egos were not evident at the photo call marking the start of the Rugby Sevens World Series in Dubai. But despite the relaxed, good-humoured nature of the occasion,
after plenty of recent speculation, it appears Shohei Ohtani, who comes with a $20 million posting fee attached to him, is headed to Southern California.
True Kai Sports.
Confirm rundown. Baseball. Okay.
True Kai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. For the first time, the United States will host the World Rugby Sevens. 28 teams will be participating.
Samoa, Australia, New Zealand, Scotland, Russia.
imagine trying to herd together the captains of 28 men and women's international football teams for a photo call. Instead, agents, image rights and egos were not evident at the photo call marking the start of the Rugby Sevens World Series in Dubai. But despite the relaxed, good-humoured nature of the occasion, make no mistake, these are among the toughest, fittest athletes you'll find anywhere on the planet. And they mean business.
Beautiful, thank you very much. Thank you.
The 10-city tournament spans the globe before teams turn their attention to the Rugby World Cup Sevens in San Francisco in July. The first time the tournament will have been held in the US.
Good news in the world of baseball, where we can tell you the man who was dubbed as Japan's favorite is heading to the City of Angels.
Plenty of recent speculation. It appears Shohei Ohtani, who comes with a $20 million posting fee attached to him, is headed to Southern California. And according to the franchise itself and his agent, the 23-year-old pitcher and batter will put pen to paper for the LA Angels. A big coup for the Angels, who will reportedly beat the LA Dodgers, the San Francisco Giants and the Chicago Cubs to the signature of a player who's famed for his 100-mile-an-hour fastball and who was widely regarded as the hottest free agent in this year's market.
Hong Kong is hosting a horse racing event showcasing some of the best horses. It's called the Year-End Spectacle.
The Turf World Championships, the Longjing Hong Kong International Races, features some of the world's elite horses across 4 Group 1 races.
Stand by for the roar and the gates to open.
The who's who of the sport will be in attendance on Sunday to witness this thrilling end-of-season finale.
Everybody comes in and has a good time, and it's a sort of like a look-forward-to event from a racing perspective and from a fan's perspective. But of course, the racing's top quality as well, and some of the races are run on turf, the richest races at their distances on turf in the world. So it's great sport, and it's great fun, and it's great entertainment as well.
The day's feature is the Hong Kong Cup over 2,000 metres, and it's the John Moore-trained Werther who's the one to beat of the 13 starters. Trained at Sha Tin, he'll have home advantage and the benefit of breaking from barrier 3 as he looks to claim the race that's worth $3.2 million US.
I think this year we've got a fairly good chance with Werther in the field. I mean, he missed it last year, but we're hoping that he can go on and win it this year, because we don't have that many long distance races here. The APEC Cup is the other event here over distance at that sort of standard, and he's won that. So he's missing this from his CV at the moment. So he'll want to take on everybody else that comes out here to have a go. John has a good way of getting these horses ready to peak at just the right sort of time. So he ran well in the prep race, and I suspect that he'll run very well on the day as well.
9 of the 13 runners have come to Hong Kong from overseas, with Japan sending yet another strong team. Having won the race for the last 2 years, their top horse Neo-Realism will be hard to beat. Whilst representing Ireland will be Audacree, trained by Aidan O'Brien, who, having already passed the world record of 25 Group 1 wins in a year, is looking to end the season on even more of a high.
And we'll be back with more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The Olympic Games are going to be always a high security games, no matter what. But the upcoming Winter Games in South Korea is just miles away from North Korea, where tensions are the highest they've been in decades. Security experts are concerned that it could be a recipe for the unthinkable.
As tensions with Kim Jong-un's regime intensify, U.S. law enforcement and security agencies are ramping up coordination with their South Korean counterparts. Just 8 weeks before the Winter Olympics, concerns are mounting that North Korea might engage in a violent provocation to disrupt the Games, which are being held just 50 miles south of the DMZ.
My concern are softer targets, and obviously things that North Korea might do to provoke the South Koreans to attempt to cause either the Games being shut down or events being moved or potentially war.
Security experts say soft targets like transportation hubs, schools, and shopping areas could be targeted by the North Koreans during the Olympics. Could athletes from America and elsewhere be in danger? U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley hinted at it on Fox when asked if America would send its team to the Games.
Do you feel comfortable sending family members if they were athletes on our team?
I think it depends on what's going on at the time in the country. We have to watch this closely, and it's changing by the day.
But now the White House and U.S. Olympic Committee say America is planning to send its athletes to the Winter Olympics. Still, there is a unique security threat at these Games. The location and razor-sharp tensions over Kim's missile tests have the region on edge. North Korea has used tunnels to try to insert commandos and frogmen into South Korea for spying and assassinations. And the regime has a history of violence surrounding major South Korean sporting events. A South Korean airliner was blown up by 2 North Korean agents in 1987, with all 115 people on board killed. One of the agents was captured and said the bombing was ordered by the North's leaders to disrupt the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul. And during the 2002 World Cup in South Korea, North Korean patrol boats engaged in a skirmish with the South, leaving several servicemen on both sides dead. Analysts say Kim has strong motives for disrupting these Winter Olympics.
He is facing the prospect of 2 years of maximum economic strangulation through sanctions and other law enforcement measures to really cripple his economy. He's going to look for ways to fight back. One way to fight back is to hurt the South Korean economy. The South Korean economy right now is 100% focused on a successful international Olympic event. So imagine cyber sabotage. So you don't kill anybody, but you just disrupt the economic flow, the transportation flow. You create a headache for the South Korean government. You make the South Koreans look bad. They lose face.
Analysts say if the North Koreans don't engage in a violent provocation during the Winter Olympics, they're at least likely to send spies into South Korea during the Games. They say the Olympics will offer the North Koreans an opportunity to gain economic intelligence on South Korea, to place sleeper agents there, and to make contact with the North Korean agents they already have in South Korea.
And that's all we have for Trukai Sports. When we come back, the weather details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. We begin in the southern region. Port Moresby fine becoming cloudy with imminent evening showers. Kerma fine with evening showers. Daru can expect some thundery rain showers clearing. Rain showers and possible thunderstorms for Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momase region, Lae cloudy with rain and showers and possible thunderstorms. Heavy rain and showers for Madang. Moderate thundery rain showers for Wewak. Showers and thunderstorms for Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, thundery rain and showers for Lorengau and Kavieng. Moderate thundery showers for Rabaul and Kokopo. Cloudy with rain showers and thunderstorms as well for Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, you can expect some rain and showers over the next 24 hours. To a look at the forecast for small ships. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kerma, Yule Island to Hood Point to Samarai Island, eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, Samarai Island to Cape Vogel to Finschhafen, Vitia Strait, Siasi Island to Long Island, Madang, Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Madang to Bogia, Wewak, Haitape, Vanimo and the northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.5 to 1 meter. Waters of East New Britain, New Ireland and Bougainville, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. And waters of West New Britain, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. And a look at the ocean forecast for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea sees slight to moderate southeasterly winds at 10 to 20 knots, scattered showers and thunderstorms. The Solomon Sea sees slight to moderate with northeast to southeasterly winds at 10 to 20 knots. Bismarck Sea sees slight to moderate east to southwesterly winds at 10 to 20 knots with gusts. And the Pacific Ocean sees slight northeast to northwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, scattered showers and heavy rain areas with thunderstorms expected.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's the way it is this Sunday, the 10th of December 2017. On behalf of the EMTV News team, have a pleasant working week. Good night.